After his father's death, Alexander set out at the age of 20 with a massive army to conquer the world. To fulfill his dream, he crushed every obstacle in his way. He conquered Europe, Asia, and Africa. While large empires bowed to his power on the battlefield, smaller states surrendered without a fight, accepting his rule. Alexander never lost a battle in his life and fought continuously for 15 years. During this time, he encountered the Indian ruler, King Porus. In 327 BC, King Porus's kingdom was situated near the Jhelum River in what is now part of Pakistan. As Alexander marched to conquer the world, a new power was also rising in India under Porus. Slowly, Porus became powerful by defeating smaller tribes and kings, to the point where he was considered a superpower of the time. Meanwhile, Alexander was near the Iranian border. At that time, the Iranian Empire was so powerful that it was considered the second major contender for global domination after Alexander. Hence, Alexander had to fight several battles to defeat them. In these battles, Alexander decisively defeated the Iranian king, Darius. In their final battle, Alexander not only crushed Darius's army, but also killed many of his top commanders. In desperation, Darius wrote a letter to King Porus asking for help. In return, Darius promised immense wealth. After reading this letter, Porus immediately sent a large contingent of war elephants to help the Iranian ruler. However, Alexander's spies got wind of this help, and before the reinforcements could arrive, Alexander launched a brutal attack on Darius, completely destroying his remaining forces. Half of Darius's army was killed, and the other half, disillusioned, killed Darius and accepted Alexander as their ruler. Porus's support to the Iranians through the elephants made Alexander believe that there was a formidable power capable of standing against him. Therefore, after securing control over Iran, Alexander marched towards India through Afghanistan, subjugating all the tribes along the way. Upon entering India, he was warmly welcomed by the ruler of Taxila, known as Ambi. Ambi not only gave Alexander precious gifts, but also added elephants and 5,000 soldiers to Alexander's army. Ambi was a weak and indulgent king, fearful of both battle and the growing strength of Porus. Not just Ambi, but many small rulers in the region either accepted Alexander's rule or waited in silence, hoping for Porus's downfall. According to tradition, Alexander also sent a messenger to King Porus, offering peace if Porus would accept him as his ruler. But Porus rejected this offer. Furious, Alexander marched to battle with his entire army, but the Jhelum River stood in his way. Despite multiple attempts, Alexander could not cross the river. On the other side, Porus was prepared with his well-trained army, ready to strike as soon as Alexander's forces crossed. Historians believe that in terms of military strength, Porus was in a much better position, with more troops and around 300 war elephants, which were considered a significant asset in battle. After several skirmishes, Alexander managed to cross the river under the cover of night. His first encounter was with a small contingent of Porus's army, led by Porus's son. Alexander easily defeated this force, leading to the major battle between him and Porus. Initially, Alexander's military experience gave him the upper hand, but when Porus deployed his war elephants, the tide of the battle turned. Alexander's troops, having never faced elephants, panicked. European historians note that at one point, Alexander's soldiers were in such disarray that many were crying, either wanting to retreat or join forces with Porus. However, once again, Alexander used his cunning. He ordered his archers to aim for the elephants' eyes and sent soldiers with fire to frighten the elephants. The elephants panicked, and many turned on their own army, causing chaos. After an 8-hour battle, both sides had suffered heavy losses. According to European historians, Porus lost due to his elephants, and Alexander, impressed by Porus's bravery, spared him and allowed him to keep his territory. Following this battle, Alexander's troops, who had been fighting for 15 years, finally revolted. As a result, Alexander had to return to his homeland, leaving his dream of conquering the entire world incomplete.